So there's a couple people that have been wondering, I guess specifically why I have quote unquote turned on MAGA or something like that, something along those lines. Truth be told, there's some people that don't even know where I stand with this. Because they say I take shots at everybody, which is essentially the point, right? Like I'm taking shots at both sides, which I'm sure is kind of like one, a shock, and two, well, most people won't be able to like understand or connect because especially now everybody is so divided that it's almost like you need to choose a side. You need to either choose the left or you need to choose the right. There is really no in between now. So kind of understandable, I suppose. And this comment right here, kind of, I would assume sums up a lot of people's kind of, what should we call it? Surprise, shock, something of that sort. So let's just read it. Dude, are you okay? I had a few weeks off YouTube, come back to hear Nick's latest disasters, and you seem to have caused or caught rather, a severe case of TDS EDS. Now, it took me a while to figure out what that meant, right? What is this hip lingo that people are using? So I thought about the video I was doing and the content I've been making, and then I put two and two together, and it's like, well, a lot of this phrase that people have been using is this derangement syndrome, kind of like how people have been using this crash out word, right? That I got called out on in my last video. They're like, you're using the word crash out, right? But yeah, I kind of put two and two together. It's like, so apparently it's called Trump derangement syndrome and Elon derangement syndrome, because I guess like those are the two heroes of all, or like 95% of the males at this point or whatever, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Just in general, if you praise another man or think another man is going to be your hero, and that goes for me too. I'm not your fucking hero. I'm not going to be your hero. I'm not your internet daddy. Same thing goes for anybody else. If you think Jim's gonna save you, he's not. He can barely save himself. You think Trump's gonna save you? Well, Trump barely saved himself. That's why he ran again. If you think Elon's gonna save you, no, Elon's only gonna save him and not even his fucking children, apparently. So, again, except for Little X, who probably likes Little X the most because he's still fucking. That's the closest thing he has to Grimes, all right? Ever since, that epic little breakup. So, again, it's like one of those things where please don't, especially if you're a man. Like, the women I could kind of understand. The men, you have no reason to be praising another man on the internet, all right? Especially this. So this already irritated me severely. Assuming this is like a grown man, which it seems like it is. I mean, that's up to you, but it makes me question your judgment somewhat. Now, listen, not even making fun of it. Well, mostly making fun of these people. Like, for example, let's be factual here. Trump is a convicted felon, and we have a convicted felon in the White House. That's kind of funny. That is exceptionally funny, right? Because if it was Biden or anybody else, we'd be talking about it for days, right? So again, I'm just a distributor of all things fair, right? So again, it's not like I'm gonna be skewed like Daddy Jim. Daddy Jim has become so jaded, I believe, to like left-wing culture now that he's just gonna take anything. Plus, it's not like, once again, like, it's not like he has much time left. So if the world does go to shit in the next 4 years, he won't care because he's gonna be dead. All right, let's be real here. This is realist hour. All right, everybody wants to act like feelings don't matter anymore. Okay, I'll take you up on that offer. Feelings don't matter. Don't cry that I'm pointing out the obvious. That Jim, if he really has cancer, will probably die in the next 4 years, and that's probably why he doesn't care about what's happening. The only thing he cares about is sticking it to those wokies until he like finally keels over. Which, I mean, if that's his mindset, like, all right. At the end of the day, though, if you talk about excessively like a topic or something, like, for example, why the fuck does this person want me to keep talking about Ricada? Like, Ricada is so fucking scared of Kiwi Farms and just people like just a-logging him that he's gone into hiding again, right? So it's like, what else is there? Not even Kino Casino could fucking squeeze out segments on Ricada anymore because Ricada's a dead topic, right? And I didn't even like people think that I fucking did this for like mostly money, whatever, because there's a lot of financial gain to go after Ricada. Not really, not particularly. Mostly because the only people getting the most money from this were like either the lawyers or or the Kino Casino. But other than that, I was purely doing this for like vindication, which is me telling you guys that I was right again, right? Because this is a fact. Like again, like the same people that were sucking up to Ricada and defending his honor and calling me a clout chaser and whatever. Those are the same people that ended up like a-logging him later on. So it's like it was purely vindication for my own fun. But if there's no more Ricada being a rebard, right? There's nothing else there. Like what is there to talk about? Right? This is why I kind of get confused with this whole. There's another comment that was like, "You're one to talk about being a grifter." I always hear this fucking word used, and I feel like people just throw out labels because why not at this point? Like, how am I a grifter if I'm like bored of milking a subject? I'm not. I wasn't even milking it. Like, I'm pretty much the one that that says like as the number one Ricada A-log is the one that's, if anything, most entitled to talk about this because one, I was in group chats with the guy while he was actively grifting with Tug and Flash or whatever, right? And Hero Hey and all these people, right? So I was there, right? I'm the one that knows him probably the most in terms of content creation from the very get-go when he had only 10,000 subs and was shit, right? At least in that sense. I mean, I'm pretty much the most, I guess, kind of fucking justified to talk about this guy, if anything. But again, I put it away because it's not really about making money at all. Like I would tell you guys straight up, this YouTube stuff, I mean, it got me like what? I guess a couple parts for a computer. G Fuel? And that's about it. Like it's never been like this lucrative business like the way it is for most people. And I think now seeing it be a lucrative business for people that I once thought, or a group of people that I once thought stood for the truth, it makes me I guess fired up, or what's the word I'm looking for? Possibly even a little inspired, if you will, to talk about this stuff that's happening now. I think that YouTube has become so skewed, right? It's become such a just a financial machine because, yeah, it really is. Like I'll tell you right now, all right, I'm not playing this smart at all. Some people have told me, well, why are you taking this blunt force approach? You know, you're dumb. You know, you're better off just like playing a game and manipulating people later on the line and just like, I get it, but I don't know. I guess that's my downfall. I don't feel like manipulating people into my way of thinking. No, maybe I'm just too lazy to it. I've heard other people say, why don't you just shut up and take the money? Like, you know what you have to say, you know the rules of this platform, you know the rules of the game, so to speak. Why don't you just shut up and take the fucking money like everybody else? Which is essentially what it is. I've never seen such blatant disregard for the truth and just blatant deception on a platform like X. And I plan to make my video like a separate video talking about this more in depth. But I think this really hit. I mean, there were already hints of this, but this really hit when Elon started blocking this one thing called Signal, right? Signal.me. Now, there's a lot of history to this, which is pretty funny, but the most funny thing is that, as I've said before, because I'm always right, I know people are going to hate me saying that, okay? They're going to think I'm really full of myself or whatever. And this is supposed to be more of like a serious down-to-earth video, so I'll keep the narcissism to a minimum. But I tend to be right about these things and have a good feeling about them. Like, for example, you can go all the way back. Even Ricada, I was telling you, hey, there's something off about this guy. He's not really who he seems like he is. He seems to be fake about all these values, or he seems to be going down a landslide of just going ahead and going against everything he stood for in regards to like being the trad dad and stuff like that. The Ricada mind virus, if you will. And then there was the thing with Max, Mama Max, where it was the original saying, hey, this guy seems like a fucking con man because he's using all these, like, this performative bullshit and not really showing anything really to validate that he's getting shit done or whatever, right? And then there was Destiny, where I'm like, hey, this guy seems like kind of a scumbag, a manipulator, and, you know, and again, like time and time again, these people, right? I was shut down with, oh, you're just a clout chaser, you don't know what you're talking about, and no, everything came true. So I don't think my judgment is very off a lot of the times, specifically with these things. So again, when I see things like this, like Mr. Free Speech Advocate or whatever, going ahead and actively just blocking out a domain that coincidentally, funny enough, you know, what do you know, is exposing Doge at this very moment. That's exactly when it started getting suppressed and just straight up blocked, right? Like that's the fucking like. It's just the truth is so on the wall, right? It's so pathetic, and you know, I don't know, man. I'm more of a blunt kind of in your face person. Funny, you know, because I don't actually have a face yet. I'm still waiting for the epic threat, like the people that threaten me on a daily that I'm gonna dox you, I'm gonna make a Kiwi farm threat on you. I'm still waiting for their magical powers to kick in, right? So I'm still waiting for that. I mean, that's pretty much the only reason I haven't doxed myself at this point, because I'm calling your bluff. I'm kind of waiting for you guys. I mean, I've been waiting for a while. Woo! I'm so scared. I guess get to work. But you get the point here. Like, it's right there. Everything is on the wall. And everybody is just so blinded by, like, their fucking hatred over the years of the left or whatever. And I'm not even a sympathizer for the left, really. Right? I mean, I guess maybe that's one of the issues, too. I've even come down, I've been on the record even still, saying that I don't particularly dislike the whole getting rid of DEI stuff. I think the shifting from left wing extremism to right wing extremism is pretty fucked up, right? Because it shows that there will never be a middle ground in society. Not to get philosophical about it, pal, but it really shows that tribalism will prevail at every time. There's no in between. There never will really be an in between. Because again, you've essentially traded in left radicalism, which, you know, because the left is more pussy made, is going to be less forceful and less dictatorian and authoritarian, right? Because they're more pussies and less conniving. What right wing extremism, which that is more effective because it's more and I know people are gonna love this. It's more manly. It's more manly. It's more conniving. It's more effective. That I'll give. Yeah, you 100% give that to the right. I mean, that's the thing that the left needs to admit as well. The right is better at playing your game than you were. Okay, they've achieved more. Yes, they have, in not a positive sense, probably a negative sense, because again, we're headed toward authoritarianism. So I guess if that's your if you're good with that, I mean, it just, again, and the contradictions of the common person is just hilarious, because that also, like, of course, it makes me laugh to an extent, but after a while, that laughter subsides, and then it just turns into like, wow, this is the common person. You know, the common person will say, I want this, I want that, and then when they don't get it and they get fucked up the ass instead, they either like submit and they're like good little dogs and shit, or they just find a cope. All right, like for example, I saw so many people were like unironically using this as a talking point. This is what I find to be the most funny. They're unironically using the Trump lowering the prices of eggs as a talking point, right? They unironically were. And now those same people have turned around and said, actually, that never mattered. It's like, what do you mean it never mattered? Use that as a point. An unironic point. When people were memeing on it and being like, this is so stupid, you were like, no, this is real life. It's like, and never mind the phoniness and the entire fucking corrupt nature of like, look, man, I'm just saying, just because you hate one side doesn't mean that the other sides has your best interest, especially now with all the shit that you can uncover on Elon, that's not suppressed by X. Like, I mean, there's a lot of fucking shit, and I mean, granted, this hasn't really been easy to find, specifically on a platform like X, which, by the way, is not free speech. Again, like, it's really not. It's very hard to find anything that's really anti-Elon, right? Most of Elon's fucking shit is either propaganda that's been inflated by like probably artificial numbers, which I'm assuming this is the big assumption because I don't have anything to back this up. But they might just be like inflating certain engagement numbers for certain people. I mean, essentially, you got to be honest with you. Blue Sky, the lefty platform, X, the right wing platform. It is literal right wing propaganda everywhere you go. And I mean, like, if that's your thing, sure. But again, it's like you're trading one, what essentially was in one extreme for the other one. All right. And the I guess the scary, if you want to call it that, if you want to use that word, the scary part of this is that once again, I got to give the right its due. They're much better at this. They're much better at executing their fucking deluded plans than the left is. Okay, because the left, there is so much they didn't account for. Again, I'm just gonna make it as easy to understand. Occam's razor for both the left and the right. The left let a literal convicted felon into the White and that cracks me up all the time because for all the fucking shit talk we want to do about felon this, felon that, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, corrupt, blah, 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 we sure don't have an issue having a convicted fucking felon in the White House. All right? It's kind of funny how most people make like the most bizarre copes and defenses for somebody that they idolize or somebody that they perceive to have their best interests at heart. I feel like I read this once. When there's uncertainty, when the people feel scared, angry, any loud power, well, perceived to be powerful, because Trump ain't too powerful. I mean, if he's bending over to these other world leaders, but anybody that's perceived as loud, powerful, and charismatic, and that's something you can't ever take away from Trump. He's a very funny, charismatic man, and Elon can have his moments too. Again, I'm not so blinded by my hatred that I can't acknowledge the boons of the people that I dislike, right? I do dislike Elon. I dislike Trump slightly less just because he is essentially what Biden's role was. He is a fucking puppet, really. All right, like if we're not realizing that this country is run by Elon Musk at this point, you're fucking stupid. Like I don't know what else there needs to be. Maybe a few more videos because I plan to make a couple more videos on this. All right, because I can't just do like I kind of understand it, right? If you come, you're an OG. If you come from like, man, I had a lot of fucking like transformations on the channel over the year. I went from like anime channel, well, manga review channel, straight up anime channel, what I wanted to call anime leafy, commentary channel, which again is like covering various dramas but also allegations, to I guess a log channel, sort of streaming channel, right? And now I guess we're delving into politics. Although I don't want people to think it's like me going into this and thinking I'm like, oh, like with the pretentious nature of destiny, right? I'm never gonna go ahead and be like, oh, I'm an intellectual, I'm a pseudo-intellectual when it comes to politics. But I will read, I will research things. I will do all this. It just so happens that this kind of has more of my interest than like laughing, I guess, of other things such as like Ricade. Because I mean, fucking, let's be honest, Ricade is like dead in the water. Any other shit, like what is there to laugh at? Really, I can't really find anything to laugh at. What is there to laugh at? I mean, if anything, I'm not completely doom and gloom. I would say that like the most I do to go back to being a entertainer or something, I don't know, maybe evolve into a review channel on some other channel or something. Maybe just try some other form of media. But in regards to this channel, where I believe that I guess I've established my personality of sorts, where I'm known for more of my personality rather than like the work, quote unquote, work I could put in. Um, well, I mean, this is kind of it, pal, right? I've told you guys I've never hidden who I really was or who I am. Might be why a lot of people perceive me to be so inconsistent, right, with certain things, and maybe they misinterpret that for grifting. I've just had a lot of shady people in my ear, leading me in a bad direction. And I don't want to make excuses for it because ultimately, as I've said before, it was my choice to listen to these people. It was my choice to follow along. It was my choice to stay quiet when I probably shouldn't have. It was my choice to say things that I shouldn't have in order to help other people that didn't deserve it. So I will 100% uh, take blame for that. Maybe that's another reason why I want to do this as well. Because obviously I know this isn't getting the big numbers or even the mediocre numbers that I would normally achieve on like a video, let's say talking about, I don't know, Destiny, controversy number 285, or just, I don't know, squeezing and milking out another Ricada video for the 800th time or something, right? I know it's not going to do that. I am well aware, trust me, and I am well aware that my support is very dim when it comes to this shit. But that doesn't dissuade me from trying, at least to try to put a little bit of info, if at all possible. Maybe try to make somebody, a person or two, more aware of this. Like, it started out again with YouTube being a hobby for people because a lot of people thought, oh, it's cool to have they saw people on TV, but not everybody can make it to Hollywood. So they saw YouTube, a way to broadcast themselves, and it's like, this is cool. We get to kind of be Hollywood, right? But as per usual, as with everything, money corrupts the fuck out of things. And I don't want to sound like Bernie Sanders or anything, but that's the truth. It really do be corrupting people. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not actually God. I don't actually think I'm God. But, yeah, that's just kind of the way the cookie has crumbled at this point. But I think, personally, in regards to me, and the way I've not only that this channel is, not only my journey throughout the years, I can't make this a corporate thing, right? I can't be like Yellow Flash or The Quartering or even Hero Hay and just read a gay little article. Yes, I used that epic word. Oh man, I probably shouldn't have. Whatever. Read a stupid little article and just in the most dull, boring voice and repeat shit that you want to hear. I can't do that. I can't. I don't have the fuel to do it. I don't have the passion to do so. And what is that really gonna do? I mean, it'll get me money, sure, free, cheap money, blood money, as I like to call it. Truth be told, I'll be the one YouTuber that'll admit this because they won't. YouTube is literally the biggest scam ever. The easiest way to get money that you don't deserve. I will 100% say that. Okay, 80-90% of these channels put little to no effort and don't deserve the money that they get. If you guys would understand how much money one can get, how much blood money one can get from just scratching their fucking ball sack, right, and just saying a couple of stupid shit or stupid things, you would be shocked, right? You'd be like, holy fuck, bro, like, what is this, right? And I'll be the only person, probably one of the only YouTubers, because again, it'll come at my detriment, but whatever, that'll be honest with you. I feel like that's what I can give back as well. Okay? I don't know. The only thing that I'm missing, I guess, is turning off monetization, but that's more of like that's more of like a bad, if anything, right? Because then your reach won't even get there or whatever. I mean, I guess that's the one grifty, shilly thing that you can say that I still do. I keep monetization on the videos. Woo! Whatever. Sends a grifter, confirm. But yeah, I guess this was a bit of an explanation that I wanted to throw out to some people. right? Oh, look at this breaking. Trump administration pressuring Romania to lift restrictions on the Tate brothers. Oh my God. Yeah, Andrew Tate, guys, great guy. I mean, again, having a convicted felon in the White House does pay dividends for certain people, but again, it's like you're trading in one fucking extreme group to another. It's just fucked. All right, and I don't know. A lot of the facts on this fucking website are now essentially being suppressed. Like again, you can't expose Doge and post it on X because Elon is like actively censoring shit. He was having a little bitch fit the other day. He made a fucking emo post about how he's not getting respect on his own platform or some stupid shit. And he's making fucking Hatler fucking quotes or whatever there, which is like interesting because I know like that's another thing that the left needs to understand because when it comes to truly being out of touch, you guys are truly out of touch. Again, I'm gonna point this out again. You let a convicted felon get into the White House. That's how ill prepared you guys were. Now, granted, a little lesson to you. A lot of those voters that helped Trump get into office were like young, very young voters. The reason? Pretty much social media. I mean, you should have known it was GG when fucking, if not when Elon bought X and started filling it up with all pro Trump shit, not when the influencers like Flash and fucking, even Ricada back before he went massively downhill, or Tug, or like any of those people were posting pro Trump bullshit all the time. They're not the worst, to be fair. Wall Street Mabby and Miles Chung will always be worse, but you know, whatever. They certainly don't help the problem. But you should have known when Barron Trump told fucking Trump, his dad, to really get ingrained in this shit, right, into the social media aspect of things, that was GG. Because, I mean, if anything, it was either the two people you can thank for like Trump getting in office is probably his own son, which is hilarious. Good old Barron Trump. And Elon. Because essentially, like I said, Trump is the puppet, Elon is the real president. But it's still worth getting Trump, in the White House in name, right? And you always want to do Daddy Dearest a little bit of a favor here or there. I kind of get it, little Baron. I get it. But it is what it is. You should have known it was GG from there because social media rules everything nowadays. You can't really get away from it. The closest thing you can do to get away from social media is living in a cabin in the woods. But literally everything has been ingrained in this shit. We got TikToks everywhere, just, not to sound like an old timer, but like destroying whatever brain cells are left of the 20-year-olds in the world, probably younger or whatever. Now we got X, which is like right-wing propaganda central. The left is so out of touch, though. Not only do they have like the worst charismatic speakers ever, because since Obama was probably their last quote unquote charismatic, likable figure. I like to call him Black Trump, all right, and I like to call Trump White Obama, right? Because regardless if you hate either or, they both had something that was able to resonate with a group of people that were able to elevate them, no matter each of their flaws. And believe me, they each have flaws, right? But ever since then, there's just really nothing there. And then we're not even going to get into the 2020 election, how that happened, because not only do I not have the facts on that, I don't think a lot of people have the facts on that. I personally don't feel like I can speak on that because, I mean, I don't even know where I stand on that. I don't even know what could have happened there. There's a lot of unknowns there that even I can't pinpoint my Senny squad. But when it comes to everything else, it's pretty clear cut. Especially when you see it on a daily. Especially when somebody like Elon makes it so fucking obvious. And especially when you have such a blatant bullshittery, and the code. Oh man, it is a weird, delicious, but also disgusting cope, Anyway, I ramble on for way too long, but if you made it to the end of the video, appreciate it. I just say send a like and share it and whatever, or I mean, get a takeaway from this. If not, well, just carry on your merry way. Come back to this video in 4 years and let me know if you still hold the same energy or you hold the same mindset that you do coming into this video. Because overall, that's what it's going to be about, right? In the next 4 years. I mean, again, it's only been like a month into the Trump presidency. And, to finish up on a point that I was going into earlier, a lot of people are already kind of regretting it, specifically the younger voters, because guess what? They were fucking stupid and didn't know what they were voting for. And again, funny enough, it was the younger voters that ended up helping Trump as well with the votes rather than the older. Because when you think of like who would vote for Trump, you're thinking like your old redneck conservatives or whatever there, right? Well, funny enough, that wasn't the case. Those people either didn't show up to vote because, again, the left is so bad that they're going to let a convicted felon win, as long as the convicted felon is funny and charismatic. Kamala was fucking terrible. I don't know what they were thinking with this shit. In a way, I guess you can say that this is the Democrats' karma for fucking over Bernie Sanders, which honestly, Bernie Sanders probably has the most charisma. And I'm not even talking about his policies, right? I'm not talking about his policies. I'm talking strictly from you gotta think of it, if this is a TV show of sorts, you have a good guy and a bad guy or something, or you have somebody with a personality, you have somebody versus another personality. Yeah, that would be it. Okay, but I guess this could be the left's fucking for trying, to fuck over, one of the better candidates in order to get another one in. I mean, this could be their karma as well. Just sucks that we gotta fucking suffer this shit. Or maybe you don't think it's suffering. Maybe you liked getting fucked by Elon and Trump. Because what they really believe in is true corporate bullshit. I mean, I guess that's what confuses me as well, right? Because a lot of people that were like, even to this day, praise Trump. They claim to be against corporations. They claim to be against this, and that, and that they're going to help, the working class when they're doing everything to the opposite of that. I mean, I guess if you want a little bit of interactions on your tweets, you want a little bit of like clout, or maybe you want to become an influencer for the right wingers, I guess this is a smart play. Which, by the way, for those people that are saying that I'm not being fair, I mean, I'll give you a life hack right now. Right now, at this very moment, best time to be a right-wing influencer, grifter, whatever you want to call yourself. Just literally go on X, start spitting all the talking points, which shouldn't be that hard. Again, make a YouTube channel specifically now if you want. And not only will this help you get blood money, but it'll also continue to help Trump. Which, to be honest, at this point, it seems like that's going to be your main way of staying ahead, right? Unless you're already pre-made and you already have a bunch of money or stuff. If you really want to get ahead, you gotta start kissing Trump's ass. Like, that's literally what it's gonna come down to. And I kind of stopped to wonder if that's the reason why we have so many people kissing Trump's ass regardless. Being very, very, like walking that rope very, very loosely, very, very carefully, rather, right? You don't want to upset him too much, but you don't want to look like too much of a shill, right? Some people do that, right? But other people, they're just like, oh no, bro, I'm not touching that one. It's like, it's, I guess, the smart thing, but you can't really respect it. And I mean, if you're aware of this shit happening, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I shouldn't really be speaking the truth, and maybe I should have just taken the handout or the payout, right? I mean, realistically, would I have gotten mediocre cash for like praising Elon and Trump? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. I feel like a good 1,000 per month, maybe more than that. I don't fucking know. 1,000 little pocket change. I'm just fucking talking out of my ass at this point. I'm kind of tired, but this has been a video explaining why I have quote unquote turned on MAGA, but I'm not the only one that's kind of regretting putting their stock on Trump. If you really go and look at it. There's quite a bit of people, and we're going to be exploring that in this coming time on this channel or whatever. That's what I decided to make this channel predominantly. Maybe there'll be a time. Maybe there'll be a time where I want to talk about trivial internet bullshit again. Though there's only so many times you can say things like your favorite influencer is shit. Um, just wait until I'm right, and then you're proven right. And this is only, like I think the Destiny one was like the biggest realization of this, where I'm like, I mean, me and even a couple other people were calling this for years, right? And then we found out that like influencers like Nicholas the Oreo the pig weren't speaking out for the truth because again, their bottom line, their money was worth more, right? And that sort of shit is just like, I mean, that community, that drama community, that fucking cesspool is just like a lost cause, and it's just like, well, why continue on? It's horrible. It's stupid. It's like it is a den of snakes, and then only weaponize their dirty secrets on their skeletons when it's convenient. The Oreo did it all the time. The Oreo's done it all the time, right? And the people that deserve to have their skeletons aired, like Turkey Tom, well, they won't because they got too much clout and money for the Oreo to want to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. But sacrificial lambs and idiots like Bo Blacks will get sacrificed, even by people that he knew for like probably more than 5 years, right? That helped make a channel with him, right? Like, where's the camaraderie? Where's like, there's no honor among thieves, whatever. These people just, well, if karma does exist, they'll probably get theirs at the end, each and every one of them. I don't know, maybe the Oreo will finally have a heart attack or something. I don't know. Anyway, again, overstayed my welcome in this video. Let me know what you think. If you have any thoughts, let me know if you actually made it to the end of the video. That'd be fun. And I'll see you all in the next one, the next little video. More Elon, or as some people say, Elon derangement syndrome. Oh man, I can't I can't wait till people see my take on Daddy Jim and his politics. Man, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good for me. I'm gonna be so cooked, bro. So cooked.